everybody, this is Brian.
And I'm Logan, and this is Tops.
Sup?
And this is Bottoms.
Whoa, look at him go.
And this is Triples. Sup. Magic.
You guys ready to cast some spells?
Yeah, what you said.
Okay, cool.
And we're Fresh Cards. Hi, team. Happy, wonderful, witchy Wednesday. Oh, see what I did there? Because they're witchcrafters today. Isn't that cool, my beautiful angels?
So today we're going to be revisiting our WITCHCRAFTER deck. This is one of our favorite rogue decks with the new Megatins that just came out a couple weeks ago. Some of these cards got rarity upgrades. It made some cards even more accessible to players and allowed us to just tweak the strategy a little bit more.
But yeah, we did a profile of this deck about 2 or 3 months ago maybe, and it was a real hit. The build wasn't as great as we wanted it to be, but we feel a lot better about this one. This one is definitely geared toward more competitive play, as the last one was very casual because we just wanted to keep it casual. But this one we feel like we're like, you know what, let's go hard. Go hard, go home, get witchy with it.
Yeah, it's still a little rogue, but with that being said, before we get into this deck profile, if you guys are not already a subscriber, feel free to go down, hit that subscribe button, throw this video a like, and comment which way you actually like to play WITCHCRAFTers. Is it competitive or is it casual?
We also have an Instagram. It's at CardsYGO. We're on there all the time, posting posts, posting stories, and answering your wonderful messages. Feel free to say hi. We have a super wholesome Discord community. I'm in there all the time. We have our Discord tournament this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It is a free tournament in our Discord. You just have to go sign up in there in the tournament section. And I'll also be streaming the whole tourney, so be sure to come check it out and sign up. And last but not least, if you want to further support the channel, we have a Patreon. Bloopers go up at the end of every month, along with all the side decks, fun exclusive content, merch. If you want to support the channel, feel free to check it out. But if not, that's okay. I'm just happy you're here to cast a spell on my heart. How many puns can we fit in this video?
I don't know, let's count. But while we do that, let's get into this deck profile.
Whee!
So starting off with our best starter card, we are playing triple copies of our brand new ultra rare, so our cute little rarity upgrade, WITCHCRAFTER Schmeta. Now just to note, all of the lower level or like normal summonable WITCHCRAFTers have the same original effect where they contribute themselves, discard a spell for cost, to special summon any WITCHCRAFTER monster from the deck. And then they all have additional effects when they hit the graveyard. Well, Schmeta's effect is that you can banish this card from your graveyard and then send one WITCHCRAFTER card from your deck to the graveyard. That's just really great because all of your WITCHCRAFTER cards during the end phase just add themselves back to your hand. So this basically is your main searcher because it searches any and everything that you would ever need. Plus, as we said, all the little ones get your boss monsters directly from the deck. And then we did choose to cut down from our previous build from 3 to 2 WITCHCRAFTER Jenny. Jenny is also probably your second best normal summon, but the reason that we chose to cut down on some of the normal summons is because this is a very, very heavy spell deck, and you want to have more spells in your hand than you do monsters. So clogging your hand with monsters is not really ideal. You play a ton of draw cards in this deck, so seeing everything that you need is a lot easier than you'd think, so running 2 of this card is more than enough. Jenny has the same initial effect as every other little WITCHCRAFTER where you contribute itself, discard a spell, and special summon any WITCHCRAFTER monster from your deck. And then her grave effect is you can banish this card in one spell, and then the effect of this banished becomes the spell effect that you banished. So like if you activate your search spell to search a monster and this is in your graveyard, you can banish Jenny and then actually banish the search spell again. Even though they are hard ones returned, Jenny will copy the effect and not the actual card, and you get to search one more time. So that's just an example. It just copies the spell effect that you banish. So it's basically like an additional copy of every spell card in your deck.
We love Jenny from the block. And then we're playing 2 WITCHCRAFTER Pittore. She's Italian. We learned that in the last video. We said it wrong, but then we educate ourselves, so Pittore.
Same initial effect. Once again, tribute yourself, discard a spell, special any WITCHCRAFTER, and then her additional effect in the graveyard is you can banish this card from your graveyard and then draw one card, then send one WITCHCRAFTER card from your hand to the graveyard, or if you have none, banish your entire hand. So it's like a worse allure of darkness, but this is a WITCHCRAFTER deck. Half of your deck is WITCHCRAFTER cards, and most of them want to be in your graveyard because, as we said, during the end phase, all of your spells recur themselves if you didn't activate them.
Lure of craftness.
This card's basically a +1.
I love craft. And that's it for the little ones. Now we're playing everyone's favorite leather darling, Hane. Hi, dear.
Look at this
Perfect
brand new,
woman.
upgraded, super cool secret rare version of
Here's
Hane.
another pun for you. She's
Yo.
spelling love on my heart.
Oh my god. Shout out to one of our subscribers, Greg. Greg, thank you so much, man. Greg actually sent us a second copy of this because we needed it, and out of all the 15,000 Megatins that we opened over here, we didn't actually pull but one. So shout out to Greg. Thank you so much, man. We really appreciate it. We are actually doing our mail opening tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But Hane is one of your big boss monsters. This is your opponent cannot target other spellcaster monsters you control with card effects, and then quick effect, you can discard a spell, target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. That's really, really cool. This is like an in-archetype quick effect pop, and it's protection. We play this at 2 because this card helps you break boards, and you do want access to like a second copy if they do manage to out the first one. And just as our last list, we are playing Dark Ruler No More in the main deck, so if you are able to just turn off your opponent's entire board, this helps you clear any problematic card going second.
I love you, Hayne. And then we have everyone's favorite smug mama bear, Madame Bear. Oh, I made that one up. I didn't even try that one. Oh, look at poetry coming in hot with my crafting crafts.
This is probably the best boss monster in the entire deck because it has like 18 relevant effects. Madame Bear's first effect says, during damage calc, if your spellcaster monster battles an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can reveal any number of spells with different names in your hand, and if you do, the battling monster gains 1,000 attack and defense for each card until the end of the turn. So this card just makes some of your Witchcrafters gigantic for no reason. And then the second effect is also a quick effect where you can discard one spell and negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of the turn. It's a blanket skill drain. Like, this card is just really, really good.
And then last for the Witchcrafter monsters, we're playing 1 Witchcrafter Golem Uwuwu.
Aruru is also a really, really great card. It's good to search, and it's just good to draw because when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a spellcaster monster you control for attacks or for card effects, quick effect, you can target one of your opponent's cards or one Witchcrafter spell in your graveyard, special summon this card, and then if you do, return the targeted card to the hand. So this bounces a card or gets your resources from your graveyard back to your hand. And then the really cool thing is it kind of recoups itself because during your opponent's standby phase, this card returns to the hand. So really cool boss monster that bounces itself back to the hand and just continually bounces stuff off your opponent's field.
Bye, woo-woo.
And then Called by the Grave is officially at 1. Not that we were ever actually playing it before, but to combat that, we are playing triple copies of Psyframe Gear Gamma and then the 1 copy of the Psyframe Driver. The reason is because all of your little Witchcrafter monsters tribute for cost while discarding a spell to activate. So if your opponent ashes that or like Gammas that, you can actually respond with Gamma and negate their effect, and then you get 2 bodies on field. You can go into a certain card that everyone kind of can't stand, special summon a tuner, get out Celine, get that tuner back, make access code, and that's game. Literally off of 1 card. It's absolutely ridiculous. And going second, Gamma just helps you win games too.
Gotta use your resources, team. And if it means going into access code, we do it.
And then as we said, that 1 card in which everyone doesn't like needs to special summon a tuner, so there it is. Might as well be a hand trap, right friends?
You know what magical girls love to do? Take naps. I'm a magical girl. I love naps. Witchcrafter Holiday. We're playing it at 3. It's literally just Monster Reborn.
Yeah, so it's good to note that all of the Witchcrafter spells have 2 effects, and it's the actual effect. And then the second effect they all share, which is if you did not activate this card this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard to your hand during the end phase. So you unfortunately can't do both, but it is resource management. And as Logan said, Witchcrafter Holiday, oh my god. I'm literally, look at this, guys. I'm literally, as we're filming, we have a misprint Holiday. This card is name shifted. Yeah, it's name shifted at the top.
Let me see.
That's really cool. Look at that. So, yeah,
it's
Holiday.
Magic. It's the power of magic.
It's literally an archetype Monster Reborn. That's it.
And then next up, we're playing 3 with my favorite card art in this entire deck, and that's Witchcrafter Unveiling. I just love how smug they all look. I love that it's Europrint, and I just love how Hayne looks so stressed out, and then Jenny's doing like the anime glasses face, and it's everything I want in a card.
This card came out in Eternity Code, and it definitely deserves like yet again one of those like Witchcrafter reprints as a secret rare, because this card is disgusting. What Unveiling says is special summon 1 Witchcrafter monster from your hand, and if you do, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your spellcaster monster effects for the rest of the turn. This card is a quick play. It is disgusting because your opponent literally can't respond to anything else that you're trying to do. And then the same thing as all the other spells. If you didn't activate it this turn, during your end phase, you can add this card from your graveyard back to your hand.
Remember when this card used to be like $40? Me too.
Yeah, it's not anymore.
Witchcrafter creation. We're creating magic and friendship together. Magic.
We decided to play Creation at 2 because, as we said earlier in the profile, you don't want to clog your hands with monsters, and this card is literally just a monster. It's just any Witchcrafter monster in your entire deck, and you can use that effect, or same thing before, if you haven't activated that and it's in your graveyard during your end phase, you can just bounce it back to your hand.
I like to think that if the Witchcrafters had pets, Triples would be one of them. He really matches the aesthetic. Don't you, Triple?
But yeah, this is really good discard fodder, or it's also just really good searching. So played it 2. You can play it at 3 if you want, but we did find it a little bricky and a little cloggy. In testing, you'd rather see something else. And then we were between 2 different Witchcrafter cards. We decided to cut draping, but we are playing the one Witchcrafter collaboration. Collaboration says you can target one Witchcrafter monster you control. It can make a second attack during each battle phase this turn. I don't know why it says each battle phase this turn, because there's only one battle phase per turn.
I'm playing Mischief of the Time Goddess.
But it also says that if you attack this turn, your opponent cannot activate spells or trap cards until the end of the damage step. So that's really cool. And then once again, if you do have Madame Vera on field, you can bump up the attack of one of your Witchcrafter monsters for the entire turn and attack twice. So it can just help you go for game. That's originally why we decided to play this over draping. Draping is more like a Harpy's Feather Duster, but like you could side that card if you want. We're not. For anyone who's interested in the side decks, we will have it up on Patreon later today, so feel free to go check that out also. And then we also cut down on the 1 copy of Witchcrafter by Street, which is that also name shift? Very slight, like very subtly.
Yeah.
That is very subtly name shifted. Yo, shout out to Infinity Chasers for the misprint. We're sitting on a gold mine.
Anyway, I always think this is a field spell, but it's not a field spell. It's just a continuous spell, but it's pretty nutty. So the first time each Witchcrafter monster you control will be destroyed each turn by battle or card effect, it is not destroyed. And then you can use one of the following effects of Witchcrafter by Street once per turn. First one is if a Witchcrafter monster you control would discard to activate an effect, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard instead, so that's cool. You don't have to like pay costs, kinda, from hand, so you can save your spells in your hand. And then during your end phase, if you control a Witchcrafter monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can place this card face up in your spell and trap zone. So you can pick one of those effects per turn.
I just like that like the first effect is a continuous effect. It's not an actual activating effect. So like that's really, really cool. But yeah, we played this at 1. We used to play this at 2, but like it's so searchable in every single card in the deck. So
it's because they're all at home. They're all protected in their homes. You know?
Wow. And then we're playing probably the best card in the entire deck, which is Reasoning. I don't know what happened last time we weren't playing this card.
I don't know what was that. Last
This
time
card
our
is
build was weird.
disgusting. This card says that your opponent declares a level, and then you excavate cards from the top of your deck until you excavate a monster that can be normal summoned or set. If the monster is the same level as the declared monster that your opponent called, send all excavated cards to the graveyard, but if not, special summon the excavated monster, and then send the remaining cards to the graveyard. But like, this literally sends most of your spell cards to the graveyard, and then you get a summon off of this regardless, and then at the end phase, because you haven't activated most of those spells, they all come back to hand. This card is broken in the deck. This deck is the reason this card's at 1. I mean, that and Infernoid, but like, really this deck.
Wow.
Wow.
Draw 1.
Man, that's really good placement over there you got.
Sorry.
We just upgraded these to Secret Rare. Doesn't it look great, guys? Foolish Burial Goods is the second best card in this deck because it says, send any spell or trap card from your deck to your graveyard. In all of your Witchcrafter cards, if you don't activate them, come back to your hand during the end phase. So this literally searches half your deck, plus this to draw you a card.
In case you weren't sure what this card does, it says draw 2. We don't really use the extra deck in this deck, so your boss monsters are all main deck. This says start your main phase, banish 6, draw 2. Wow.
Yeah, this card became a little bit more accessible, so we figured why not pick up an extra playset. Playing in this deck, we really like this deck, so we wanted to make it relatively competitive. This helps you do that.
Speaking of competitive, this deck sucks going second, so here's Dark Ruler no more. Wow, say no to your board, buddy boy.
Yeah, and if worse comes to worse, even if you open this turn 1, it's not the worst thing going first because you can just discard it off of any of your Witchcrafter discard effects because it is a spell that you don't need. So just send it to the graveyard. Doesn't matter. And then we move on to our one-offs. We are playing 1 copy of Mind Control, 1 copy of Instant Fusion, and then the 1 copy of Monster Reborn. All 3 of these cards allow us to go second with no problem because Mind Control steals a monster. Instant Fusion actually allows you to go first or second because you play Millennium Eyes and Thousand Eyes. And then Monster Reborn, it's just Monster Reborn. You can bait and negate, you can steal an opponent's monster. It's super duper good. We don't really need to explain these cards. They're broken.
And then last but not least, we got all of our girls on a magical museum adventure. So we were playing 1 Witchcrafter Patronus.
Yeah, you can make an argument that this card could be at 2, but we decided to play a little bit less of the Witchcrafter monster lineup because we wanted to focus more on what the deck does best, which is generate spell advantage. So banishing your Witchcrafter monsters happens sometimes, but not all the time. And Patronus says that you can target one of your spellcaster monsters that is banished or in your graveyard, shuffle it into the deck, and if you do, add 1 Witchcrafter spell from your deck to your hand. And then if this card is in the graveyard, except the turn that it was sent there, you could banish this card and target any number of your banished Witchcrafter spells with different names, add them to your hand. So a lot of people play this card with Spell Chronicle. In our personal opinion, Spell Chronicle is terrible. It's super slow, it's a non-searchable 3-of, and like it's like a 3-card combo to search cards. Instead of searching cards relying on luck, just play draw cards and draw the cards you would search regardless. So like if you want to play Spell Chronicle, feel free. It's not our specific build. We think it's a really, really slow build. It's sad stacky, it's cute, but it's not competitive. So if we wanted to build this deck to be the more competitive version, this is the way we would go.
This is the way. All right, and that's the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck team.
So for our extra deck, we're just gonna breeze through this because we're playing a lot of the same card because we are on an extravagance package of triple copies of Salamangreat Almirage. This card is literally just here to help you get some of your smaller Witchcrafter monsters into the graveyard. If you already have your boss monsters out and on the field, but you want to get the graveyard effect, this just allows you to just link them off with the link 1 because most of them, minus Shmeta, have the requirements of a normal summon monster with 1,000 or less attack. Go into Almirage, get them into the grave, banish them, get their effects. You don't have to worry about getting boss monsters out that are already on your field. So, and then there are some utility cards in the deck, one of which is the Relinquished Anima. You don't really care about this card. It is really, really good utility because, as I said before, we are playing the Thousand Eyes and Millennium Eyes Restrict package. So if they stop the Thousand Eyes, haha, joke's on you. Just go into Anima and still take the card anyways. Don't click away from the video. We love you. This is not meant to hurt you. We're playing one copy of Needle Fiber. You don't have to play this card, but this card does help you get to your win condition, which is triple Celine, 1 access code. When your opponent ashes you, you get access code for game because of Needle Fiber. We're not abusing it. We're not doing the synchro crap. We're literally just going Gamma Driver into Fiber. That was a rhyme.
Gamma Driver Fiber.
Special Summon Veiler, make Celine. Celine effect, get back Veiler. Veiler and Celine, access code. Effect, gain 3,500. Activate Madame Veer, attack for game. Clearly you have to have other cards on board, but like Madame Veer could bump herself up to 4,000 plus 53, that's game. 1 Hulk, 1 access code, and then the 3 copies of Celine. For anyone who does not know what Celine does, if this card is link summoned, place counters on this card equal to the number of spells on the field and in the graveyards, yours and your opponent's. Yeah, I mean, it has a bunch of Endymion effects. We're not Triff, but that's okay. It has another really cool effect. We're Quick Effect. Freaking quick effect, dude. This is both players' turns. You can remove 3 spell counters from your field, special summon 1 spellcaster monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position.
Wow.
Like, ridiculous. Once again, just get Veiler back, make access code. Access code can just pop a bunch of cards. It'll pop at least 2 because Celine's a light and Fiber's a water. So yeah, this is our OTK package. And don't worry, if you don't want to play it and you banish any of that off of your extravagance, we can still make our Side Frame Lord Omega to banish cards out of our opponent's hand. It's a 3,800 beater. It's an easy make off of Gamma and the driver, and it's just easy disruption. And then, as I said before, we are playing the 1 copy of Millennium Eyes Restrict and then the 2 copies of our Thousand Eyes Restrict. This is just our instant fusion targets. This sucks monsters up, and this basically stops monster hand traps in the graveyard. And once again, if they stop this, you can just go into your Anima and take the card regardless. So really cool. And then the last package that we are opting to play because it is a level 5 and it is a spellcaster, Busted Double Window. You could special summon this off of instant fusion, and then once it dies during the end phase, you can always just Celine it back and lock your opponent out even further because it is a spellcaster and this card is just disgusting. It's probably the worst floodgate in the game because it says that each player can only special summon once. And that's literally it for the extra deck. Super easy. Let's get into a test hand. So we're just going to do a real fast shuffle and then quickly demonstrate what this deck can do. It's kind of hard to demonstrate decks like these because there's not like generic combos that they do. It just has a very small interaction with the cards in and of itself in the deck. So we will allow our opponent to cut now.
Hi, it's me, the opponent, still after all these months.
We'll draw Jenny. And unveiling. Oh, that's the most busted card in the game. Wow. Okay. Wow. All right. This might just be the best hand in the deck. So, we're gonna have to start off with an extract. So we'll just fire this off.
Don't worry. Let me just take care of all this for you. Here, we'll just rip these 2 and those 2. These 2. There you go.
Awesome. What did we lose? Let's find out. We lost a window. I mean, we lost access code, but that's fine. Whatever. It's not the biggest deal in the world.
Sorry, pony.
We'll draw 2. Spell. This actually normally would stink, but we have the unveiling, which is awesome. So we're literally just going to special this from hand. So we're going to activate the unveiling first to get the Madame Veer out of our hand. We're going to then activate reasoning, and then opponent, you want to call a level?
2.
2. Awesome. We're going to excavate now. 4. Guess we're going to have to summon the 4. We'll summon our Shmeta, and then the creation will go to the grave. So now we can activate the Shmeta effect, and because we did activate the unveiling, they can't respond to this, which is great. We unfortunately have to get rid of the Reborn, but we're going to get 2 cards in our end phase anyways. special summon a Hane directly from our deck, and now we can activate the Schmeta in our graveyard, banishing it to foolish any card from our deck to our grave. We'll just send a buy street for fun. And then I know this kind of seems a little weak, but like the deck isn't tier 1, so on our end phase, we did activate the Unveiling, but we did not activate the buy street. So the buy street will add itself to our spell trap zone, and then the creation will add itself to the hand. We unfortunately do have 2 other monsters in our hand, but that is the game. Sometimes we wanted to showcase a realistic hand with this deck. So our end board is going to be a skill drain whenever we activate this to shut off our opponent's entire board, a Hane, which also has the ability to destroy cards,
and then we also have buy street, which is just battle protection and card effect destruction protection for each of them, so that's pretty nice.
We only have 2 spells, so we have to be careful with our resources, but this is enough to at least get us to our next turn where we would draw another spell, which literally says get anything you want. So that's more than enough to get you by street. As we said, this deck is not like a tier 1 deck, but it's a very, very fun rogue deck. It can take your opponent by storm if they don't know what they're up against. And if you play your cards right, this deck can really, really reward you.
Gotta play your cards right. Game on, get your game on.
So let's just showcase the Gamma combo really quick. Okay, so we're gonna demonstrate the Gamma combo real quick. We did stack the deck just to show, because we can't like obviously guarantee we're gonna see the cards that we need. So this is just a demonstration. This is not a test hand, but the Gamma package technically allows you to go second a lot better. So drawing 5 for our first 5 cards. This is something that you would normally see. It'd be like a normal summon, the Gamma, and then some spells. And then you would draw for turn, and it would be, okay, another spell. That's kind of cool. So what we could do here is we could just activate the Foolish Burial Goods, send something like a Collaboration, or just any other card to get spell cards in our graveyard. Then we can just activate the Creation to search. Then let's say we normal summon our Schmeta. We can activate the Schmeta with the Holiday discarding for cost. And then say our opponent ashes us. Now what we can do is we can chain the Gamma to negate the ash, special summon the Driver directly from our deck. So now of course our Schmeta would resolve because the Gamma negated the ash, so we would just special summon from our deck, special summon Hane from our deck. Now we can just link summon here into our Fiber, activate our Needle Fiber's effect, special summon the Effect Veiler from our deck. You can now link again into your Celine, Big Mammy. There are 4 spells in our graveyard. Let's say our opponent used a spell 2 going first, so there's 5 spells in each player's graveyard total. So we're gonna activate the Celine, removing 3 counters, so there's 2 now. Special summoning back the Veiler, and now we can link again.
Whoa, into Smaccess code.
The access. And then access can obviously target the Celine, bump it up by 3, and then we can banish the Celine for the access code effect, popping 1 card. We can then banish the Fiber, popping another card, and then we actually have these 2 cards in our hand that we can use to kill our opponent. We're just gonna activate the Unveiling, special summon the Aruru, and then that's game. We just enter the battle phase. This is 53, 28, and 24. You used your whole hand, but it doesn't matter because the game's over at this point. So
you won. Congrats.
Woo!
You're a winner.
This doesn't come up all the time, but this is one of the combos that allows you to just win out of nowhere as long as you open the Gamma and your opponent stops you on your normal summon. You don't always have to go this line. If you did activate Extravagance first, you could always just go for the Cypher or Omega instead. But this is a really fun deck. We really enjoyed this deck. It's super cute, super fun,
and full of super cute sorceresses. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed. Feel free to let us know how your build is going in the comments. And if you have any questions or concerns, we're always here. We love answering you guys. We will see you in tomorrow's video for our fun mail opening. We have a lot of really cool stuff to show you guys, so be sure to come check it out. Wow.
And then Friday is going to be a really awesome episode of Linking Up.
We love you. You matter. You better hit that subscribe button. I love you. Have a great Wednesday, team. We're halfway through the week. We're doing it. Bye. Bye, friends.